What's good? So in this video, I'm going to be going over how to read and find out what trend the market is in. All right, so I've already went over this a little bit before in one of the other trainings, but I'm going to break down the basics of an uptrend and a downtrend, and then we're going to get into the charts so I can show you exactly how to find an uptrend or a downtrend in an actual chart. All right, so first we're going to start off with an uptrend. So in the uptrend, we're going to look for our 1, 2, 3 movement. So what do I mean by a 1, 2, 3 movement? We have a low, a high, higher low, higher high, right? So like I said, we have a high, a higher low. The reason why this is considered a higher low is because it's higher than the previous low. Then we have a higher high. Why? Because it's higher than the previous high. But the reason why I call it a 1, 2, 3 movement is because you get a 1, 2, 3. So once you see that, you know you're officially in a uptrend. Now for a downtrend, similar movement, but in the opposite direction. You're still getting your 1, 2, 3, but instead now you have a high, you have a low, you have a lower high, you have a lower low, right? So this is how you know you are in an uptrend or a downtrend, right? And the market can continue to trend upward where you're getting movements like this over and over again. And then same for a downtrend where you can get movements creating lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and stuff like that, right? So that's how you think of a trend. Now, when it comes to this, we can use indicators to help out with finding out what trend the market is in, or you can just do it with a naked eye, right? A trend indicator that I like to use is actually a support and resistance indicator. So if you're using TradingView, you just type in support, and you select the one that says support and resistance levels with breaks, Lux Algo. And when you click it, you'll see these little red lines and these blue lines. It would start off at 15 and 15, but I like levels 6 and 6 the most. And the way I tend to use this, and I'm going to start off with an uptrend, is for an uptrend, I pay attention to these blue lines, right? There's support lines, but we're going to call those stairs, all right? And what I want you to notice is, in this instance here, we see we have a 1, 2, 3, right? So we know we're in an uptrend. But also I want you to notice that we have these stairs where we have this first blue one followed by a second blue one that's higher than the first, right? This one is higher than this one, right? So we have a higher low. And after this creates a higher high, after this high is broken here, we know we are in an uptrend, all right? So you look for an uptrend, you want to see two blue stairs, second stair higher leads to, I'm going to abbreviate it, higher high, uptrend. All right, two blue stairs, second stair higher leads to higher high. Bam. You know you're in an uptrend. Example of a downtrend. Example of a downtrend. I want a clean example. Okay, here. We see here we have our 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then we notice in this instance, in the downtrend, we want to see two red stairs where the second one is lower, right? So we see here the second stair here is lower, and then it led to a lower low, letting us know that we are in a downtrend, right? So for a downtrend, what you want to see is two stairs, two red stairs, second stair lower leads to lower low. Bam. So that's how you look at a downtrend. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a lot of examples showing you how to spot these out. And then I'm going to also show you how to kind of be more aggressive with knowing what trend this market is in. But it's always safer to look for that 1, 2, 3 first. All right. And so let's say we start here. From this point, I see we have this high, and I see we have a lower stair, red stair here, right? So I see we have our 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And so at this point, I'm looking for nothing but sales until I get a 1, 2, 3 back up to the upside, as I see here. Right? So this whole time, I'm looking for nothing but sales because no higher high was made until over here. Right? It tried to here. It tried to here where we had this blue stair. The second blue stair was higher, but it never created a higher high. It never created a higher high than this. So it created a lower low. But eventually we got our 1, 2, 3, and it became an uptrend. Right? Boom. Next example, let's say we start here. We see we have one blue stair, followed by a second blue stair that's higher. That leads to a higher high. So we see from this point, we have our 1, 2, 3. But it eventually what? It eventually breaks. It eventually breaks right here where we see 1, 2, 3 going down to the other side, to the downside. Right, where it creates this lower low. Now this trend didn't last too long. This downtrend didn't last too long, but it was showing that it wanted to potentially continue lower. Right, and it's another thing that I'll show you that you can add to kind of help you with an additional confirmation of what trend the market is in. But as you can see, you have this red stair followed by another red stair that's lower and a lower low. Right, so that's that. It doesn't matter what you're looking at. It doesn't matter what time frame, because we're looking at the 15-minute time frame. If I go up to the 4-hour, now we're gonna see, trends in a different way, right? So this whole time, even on this time frame, we've seen it made an uptrend here, right? And it can continue going on, where you're seeing these blue stairs get higher and higher, and higher highs, right? You continue seeing these blue stairs get higher and higher, and higher highs. Right, over and over again. So this whole period, the market was trending up. It didn't begin trending down until we got we can barely say that until we got this move in here. Until we got a 1, 2, 3 right there. All right, let me clean this off a little bit more. Right, now, in addition to the 1, 2, 3, you can also use an EMA, a SMA, some type of moving average to help you know what trend the market is in. So this line right here, I believe, is a 200 SMA. And as you can see, the market kind of follows, or the SMA follows the market, where when the market is trending downward, the SMA is above it and it's continually dropping. When it's more in an uptrend, you're seeing the SMA is below it, and so on and so on. There's different numbers you can use. Like if I use the 30 SMA, you can see that the line is a lot closer. So there's different ones that you can use. But for the most part, you really want to look at how the market is moving to help you know what trend the market is in. Now, let's say we were trading Ethereum. Go to Ethereum just to show that it works on anything, right? You're going to look for these stairs and create higher highs. So let's say we start here. We see one blue stair followed by a second blue stair that's higher. That leads to a higher. We are trending up, right? We're trending up until when? Until we get to this point. Because now at this point, we notice we have this red stair followed by a lower red stare that creates a lower low. So at this point, this trend that the market was doing is over, right? It's over. Now, sometimes the market might not be trending cleanly, where the market may be moving sideways. We try not to trade that. And so we try to find areas where the market is trending up, because that's when you're going to get a lot of momentum in the market, right? So once again, we have this blue stare followed by a second blue stare that's higher. We already got our 1, we got our 2, we have our 3. And it just continues going, bam. And so what you're going to see in a later video is how I'm going to add the zones to these trend pullbacks, right? So we're going to be seeing, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to be trying to enter on the 4s or on the 6, right? When it's making these higher lows, right? So when it's making these pullbacks here, we're looking to enter for it to potentially get back up to these highs, right? But there's certain levels we'll look at, which I kind of went over, like I said, in the last training, but I'm going to show you in another training how to put the two together, all right? But those are going to be the areas that we're looking for. And just like that, in the downtrend, we're going to be looking for, let me find a better example. In the downtrend, we're going to be looking for examples of when the market is pushing downward, right? So, and when it pulls back. So we might see a 1, 2, 3, and when it's pulling back here, we're trying to find an entry. When it's pulling back over in here, we're trying to find an entry potentially, right? And so over and over again, we need to know what trend the market is in, because we want to trade with the trend, right? You never want to try to trade against the trend, because the market can just keep going and just destroy your account. So you always want to trade with the trend. You'll hear people say the trend is your friend. Definitely follow the trend. Like I said, this indicator makes it a lot easier with finding out what trend the market is in. Like I said, if you're looking for buys, you want to see 2 red lines, 2 red steps, where the second one is lower and it's creating a lower low, just like how this one did. And then for an uptrend, it's the opposite. You want to see 2 blue stares, where the second one creates a higher high. And you're in an uptrend. Bam. Right? So you just do that over and over again. Practice it. And you'll honestly be able to spot it a lot faster eventually as time goes on. But that's basically how you spot out a trend. And like I said, in the next training, we're going to be merging trends and levels together, and then, keep on building from there. So this is a series for beginners. Like I said, it's going to take you to an advanced level once you start to put all the pieces together. But if you are looking for a free Telegram group, right, where you can get free crypto signals, free trades, for absolutely free updates, free live sessions, I will be posting a link down below. And so if you like these type of videos, also like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll continue to post these videos. I will continue with this series, and I'll see you guys in the next video.